If you're looking for an end of year ritual where you can review, release, and refocus your energy so you can start the next year with your soul aligned intentions in place, then you're gonna love today's video. If we haven't met before, my name is Francisca. Welcome to the Breathe, Connect, Thrive channel. I am the owner of Breathe, Connect, Thrive. It's a healing studio here in Houston, Texas, where I help people release deep emotions through conscious connected breath work, replenish their mind, body, heart, and soul in restorative yoga, gain some clarity through personalized self-discovery tarot readings, and I combine all of those modalities in the liberating chakra balancing breathwork journey. If we have met before, welcome back. Thank you for supporting the channel and thank you for supporting me. I appreciate it in so many ways. It's difficult for me to put in words how much I really appreciate your support. In today's video, I'm sharing my end of year ritual that helps me review the year, release the energy of the year, and also renew and refocus my energy so I can step into the next year with soul aligned purposes and intentions. So I don't really believe in doing New Year's resolutions. I've never had a New Year's resolution that actually stuck for me. And even before I started doing all of this spiritual work and all this personal development work and all this soul work, I just never did it. And it just never made sense to me to do a New Year's resolution. But what I have done over the last few years is set an intention for the year of how I'd like to feel. And even before I found out about conscious connected breath work, I would do some type of meditation to help me release the energy of the year, and also to think into and feel into what I'd like to feel or how I'd like to design my life to have some core pillars of inspiration for the year ahead. And so it's a three-part process where you review the year, you release the year, and then you refocus your intention or renew your energy so you can step into the new year in a way that just makes sense for your soul, in a way that makes sense for your heart's desire. And I wanted to share that with you this year. And if this is something that you want to do together, then you can click on the link in the description box below. There's a few ways that you can do this with me, whether that's in a group setting or a one-on-one basis. But let's get into the first part of it. The first part is to review the year. And this usually means journaling and or using Oracle or Tarot with some of the questions if I get stuck on those questions. So I feel like setting some time aside, and it just depends on you and how long you want to do this practice for. But I usually set aside about 20 to 30 minutes, if not more, for the journaling part of it, because there are a lot of questions. And the questions have changed throughout the year. So some of those questions are, what did I create or experience this year that I'm proud of? What was the most challenging part of this year? And what did it teach me? Are there any mistakes that I made this year that I can use to learn and progress? How did I challenge myself to step outside my comfort zone so I could grow? What soul lessons did I discover this year? What happened this year that surprised me? What happened this year that delighted me? In what ways did I grow this year? In what ways did I regress this year? Was there something difficult that I did this year that I didn't think I could accomplish? If there was an unexpected event in my life, how did it serve me? Are there any projects that I didn't complete that I want to complete? Are there any projects that I didn't complete that I want to let go of? Are there any unfinished projects or ideas that I feel like are hanging above my head? Is there anyone I need to forgive? What do I want to let go of, release, or soften? What would I like to welcome or invite into my life next year? What steps am I willing to take in that direction? How do I feel about moving forward? So there are more questions that I've used throughout the years, and I feel like the questions change each year because, or the questions that I choose to journal on or journal with change each year because each year we're different. And sometimes I'll add questions, sometimes I'll take questions away. There are some questions, however, that sometimes I do feel stuck on. So that's when I'll get my trusty tarot or oracle. I really like using tarot for this. But that's when I'll get my trusty tarot cards. And like if there's a soul lesson and I'm like, well, I don't really know what my soul lesson was this year. And then I'll like kind of pull a card. It's like, okay, 10 of Cups, like you can be happy, like you deserve to be happy. This is funny because this card keeps coming up when I start asking about soul lessons and things like that for myself and also for clients' personalized reading. So if you do want an end of year tarot reading, you could book just a regular tarot session and just say in the comments that you want an end of year tarot reading, and we can always do that. But sometimes we know the answers to these questions and sometimes we get stuck. And if it's something that you do feel like you want to explore and you want to go a little bit deeper, then I highly suggest taking out your tarot or oracle. Last week I did release an end of year tarot reading. So if you want, you can click on the link somewhere. I'll link it up here so you can go watch that video. But you could also use those questions, which are some of the questions that I use in my end of year journaling process. The link to the end of year ritual is in the description box below. So you can go ahead and print that out so that you can journal with these questions. All right, so the next step in my end of year ritual is to release. So once I've reviewed, I like to release. And so this is funny because it reminds me of my mom. And one of the things my mom used to do on New Year's Eve was to clean the whole house from top to bottom. From top to bottom, everything was mopped. Light switches were cleaned, like everything was cleaned. And one of the things that I love to do is I love to do that too. So there's the physical, digital, and the energetic release of things. And so releasing the year to me usually starts off with the physical. So I'll go through my house. And I don't have a lot of stuff, but what I do notice is that at the end of year, especially in the kitchen, like I don't know how I end up with so much Tupperware tops without bottoms or bottoms without tops, but I'll go through and I'll get rid of that. I'll get rid of those things. If I can recycle stuff, I'll recycle it. If there's books that have been sitting on my shelf for a long time that are just collecting dust that I'm probably not ever going to read, then I'll donate those. Socks that don't have pairs or socks that have holes, you know, so I'll go through like the whole thing. Clothing that needs to be donated. Again, I don't have a lot of stuff, so this part doesn't take a long time. The physical cleaning of things, releasing things, but it's so important. Like I think Tosha Silver talks about it when you make, and even Kyle Gray I think talks about it too, but when you make physical space, you make space for things to come in to your life. And so sometimes that looks like money. Sometimes you can sell some of these things. So if you have things that are in your home or in your storage that you want to go through and get rid of, then you can do that. This process does take me a couple of weeks just because there is a lot of steps to it. It doesn't have to take you 2 weeks, but for me, I feel really good about that. One of the other things that I release physical energy from is crystals. And so I have crystals that I've used for a long time. And, you know, sometimes in the course of using crystals, they'll drop, you know, they'll crack or break or whatever. And so sometimes I'll take those crystals and bury them. And so if there's any spiritual things that I have that I don't need or aren't good anymore, then I'll throw those away, donate them, or give them away. But again, I don't have a lot of stuff, but the physical going through of things doesn't take a long time for me. The next thing that I do is go through and do a digital release of things. Now, this part does take a long time. I wish I was a little bit more proactive and did this on a consistent basis, but I wait till the end of the year to do it. And so if you're someone who also waits to the end of the year to start clearing things out, let me know in the comments below, or let me know what you're ready to get rid of. But I have a lot of photos. I do take a lot of photos for the newsletter, for YouTube. I create a lot of thumbnails for YouTube. And so I have a lot of digital media. I have a lot of digital trash, and I'm sure that my Canva would really like it if I could go in there and just make some space and just delete videos that I don't need, that don't need to be taking up storage space there. But I know that my laptop would function a lot better if I could do that too, and also my phone. So cleaning up any digital things, photos, emails, unsubscribing to newsletters. And hey, if you want to unsubscribe to my newsletter, you can do that too. You actually really are helping people when you unsubscribe to stuff that you're not interested in, and or you unsubscribe to things that you're not interacting with, because then it helps their engagement kind of go up. So I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I am going to say it because it does help, especially smaller channels, and even bigger channels too. It helps their engagement rates go up. So if you're on someone's Instagram and you don't like really support them, you're not liking their stuff, you're not engaging with them, then you might unsubscribe from them. If you're on somebody's YouTube channel or newsletter, then you might want to do that too. But I do go through and I unsubscribe from things that, you know, I don't buy anymore, or don't have any intention of buying or engaging with. And so that process can take a little bit, especially if you're breaking it down. So if you have stuff in your Google Drive, documents, sheets that you no longer need, you know, go ahead and get rid of those. So you can do a search of stuff that you haven't used in about 6 months, or, you know, files that are larger than X amount of data and you haven't used them in this amount of time, get rid of those. So emails, phone numbers. So if there's people that are in your phone that you will probably not ever talk to, then go ahead and delete that. Delete the messages too if you don't normally do a detox of your phone. Again, this can take a while. What you're doing is you're not only creating that data bandwidth, expanding that, but you're also expanding your energetic bandwidth. When we release these things that don't serve us, but when we also release these things that we're not engaging with, that we have no intention of engaging with in the future, it really allows more space. So clearing out things physically, digitally, and energetically is going to help you increase your bandwidth as well. Not only your physical and digital bandwidth, but also your energetic bandwidth, which takes me to the third way that I release the year is energetically. So surprise, surprise, I use breathwork to help me do that. I used to use meditation only, but I use breathwork now because it is so fucking powerful. And I love doing breathwork to help me release the end of the year. And so if I've journaled, if I've released things, sometimes you're throwing things away, like physical things away, and you're like kind of, your mind's like working through the journal prompts that you've asked yourself and you've journaled through. And so there's space in your mind of, you know, processing all of these things. And so laying down to do breath work is a really good way to move all these things outside of your body. Like if there was an unexpected event that happened and it taught you something and you're thinking about it a couple of days later, or maybe right after you've journaled, you know, there might be some energetic ties to that, and you might feel a little sad about things, or you might feel a little angry, or you might feel a lot angry or a lot sad. There may be grief that comes up. There may be, you know, like a feeling of loss, a feeling of, you know, maybe renewed hope. And so it's a really great way to release this energy, move this energy through your body, is through conscious connected breath work. I do recommend like a really intense breath work. So if you're doing conscious connected breath work or integrative breath work, maybe even holotropic, any kind of circular breathing with an open mouth, I feel like that type of breath work really helps to release stuff, and throwing a good yell in there is also really great. So you can do that. You can also cut energetic cords. I do have a video that you can watch, a breathwork video here that you can watch. I also have a breathwork course that you can use if you want to do this at home by yourself, and, you know, do the journaling prompts and then lay down and do breathwork. That's really great way to release this energy. But also you can cleanse your space using Palo Santo or sage. I prefer Palo Santo because Palo Santo just smells better for me. But you can even do a burn letter or bless and release letter. And so you can just start off writing, I bless and release, I bless and release. And what is it that you're blessing and releasing? I bless and release the energy of 2023. I bless and release the energy of 2022. If you want to go back, I bless and release the part of me that was codependent. I bless and release the part of me that didn't know how to forgive. I bless and release the part of me who thought I couldn't get through this year. I bless and release the part of me who didn't think I was strong enough. You know, these are a little bit personal, but those are my things that I would love to bless and release. But what are the things that you would love to bless and release? Write it down in a fucking letter, tear it, burn it, then do some breath work. And so these are really great ways to release the energy of the year. Then you can move on to the third part, which is to refocus or re-energize your energy. And I use so many different things for this. I use tarot, I use oracle. I also use core desired feelings. I also use annual planning to re-energize and refocus my energy. And I also use journaling. With this, so core desired feelings, if you don't know what that is, I'll link a video up here. I think it's really great to review your core desired feelings and see how you really want to feel the next year, because you can make all kinds of plans, but if they're not aligned to what your soul desire is, then I feel like those are the plans that don't come into fruition, and those are the plans that are a little bit like we're forcing those plans basically. And so I did an annual planning last year, and at the core of my annual planning was I wanted to help 100 women heal through breath work. And I surpassed that number. I want to say it was around August. I sat down and I did the math because I was doing my quarterly planning. And when I sat down and did the math, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to surpass this number in just 2 more clients. And I did. And it's just such a beautiful thing, because what my soul longs to do is to teach people to connect with themselves, to teach people that they have the power within themselves to heal whatever it is that they want to heal. And they have the power within themselves to reconnect to their heart's desire or their soul's desire. And, you know, that was a soul-centered goal. That was a soul-centered goal. And I feel like that happened without me having to force it, whereas the other things that I had planned, because they weren't really tied to a soul goal or a soul aligned goal, they didn't go the way that I wanted them to. So I think it's important to define or redefine your core desired feelings. You may have already defined your core desired feelings, but maybe last year or 2 years ago, you felt like you wanted things to be at ease. Now, maybe this year or next year, you're wanting to feel a little bit more productive. You want to feel a little bit more active, healthy. Things can change from year to year, and things can change after a couple of years. So I think it's a really great way to refocus your energy and say, okay, are these still my core desired feelings? If so, how can I do things to honor my core desired feelings? And how can I align my core desired feelings with my soul aligned goals? And how do I get to my goals? By doing it in a way that feels good to me. Because it's not just about doing what you love. It's about finding a way to do what you love that makes sense for you. And how do you keep yourself accountable for that? And so that's why I use the planning and the core desired feelings for that. Tarot is a really great way to refocus my energy for the next year. So you can use tarot a couple of different ways here. I use both, and I've used them both in one year and then also both separately. So one way to use tarot is to do it divinationally. So you can ask, what is the energy for, the year coming up? What is the energy for next year? What will my challenges be for next year? How can I overcome the challenges for next year? And what is the guidance from source? So those are really good questions to ask when you're doing forecasts for the next year. But you could also break it down into months, like what will January look like? What will February look like? What will March, and so on and so forth. And so you could go through each month and you could do those 4 questions in each of the months. You could also ask different questions, but those are the questions that I like to ask if I'm doing divination for the year coming up. Now, if I want to do intentional tarot planning, that is different. So in the month of January, I would like the energy for the month of January for me to be in the, Empress mode. I want to be creative. I want to be fluid. I want to be flexible. I want to flow like water. I want to get in touch with my intuition. I want to be creative. And so I would step into the energy of the Empress in January. And this is what that looks like. And this is, how it ties to my core desired feelings. And I have a whole process that I do with that I'll share with you when you sign up for the VIP Soul Shift Intensive. And that is a one-on-one session. It's 4 hours. You and I get together and we go through and we do some breath work, we do some tarot, we do some Reiki. We release the energy of 2023. We step into the energy of 2024. We use all of these tools except for the physical and digital cleaning. You do that on your own. I don't go with you to do that, but we spend 4 hours together. If you want to do a VIP one-on-one intensive, and it comes with a 2-hour calibration session that you can use throughout the year and come back to recalibrate to your soul's desire and your intentions. And I'll help you plan out your year so it's aligned to your soul desire and aligned to your core desired feelings. So it's aligned to your soul desire. Now, if you want to do this in a group setting, I have some dates coming up for that. I'm so excited about that. And I'll leave the details in the description box below, but you can check all of that stuff out. If you're on my newsletter, then you'll get the information on that. So those are the things that I do in my end of year ritual to help me review the year, release the year, and refocus and renew my energy for the coming year. I hope that this helped you. And if it did, please let me know which part helped you, which part you'll take with you to your end of year ritual, and what you do for your end of year ritual. And you can check out the end of year tarot readings playlist here. As always, please only take what feels right in your heart and soul and leave the rest behind. That's it for now. I'll see you next time. Bye.